Hello, people of the internet. My name is Zarlin, and in my quest to become somewhat okay at Yu-Gi-Oh! Through the strategy of using Albaz Despia, I did some research this week. And this deck right here that is showing on your screen is actually based on what just got placement at an OCG tournament. And so I'll show it here on screen. Yay, editing. Anyways, I've obviously changed some of it to more TCG standards because we don't have Max C, because Max C is a format warping card. And I've changed a little bit around to kind of fit into that dynamic. But yeah, one thing that I find most interesting that even in testing I found has actually been pretty good is that even though I memed in my first Despia video, the Fusion Destiny package actually works quite well in this deck, and so they've slotted it in. This video was recorded before the OCG announced that they are banning Fusion Destiny. Now, they've also taken out the dramaturges, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it seems to be working kind of well. I've done some testing with this, and we'll get to those videos here in a little bit, those replays. We did keep an ad libitum. We got our Alubers. We got one tragedy, mostly because we just want to send it off of Fusion Destiny. We got two kit. We got the bird, mostly because it's a lot better than I made it out to be in the first video, because it negates effect, not stops attacks. I don't know what I was thinking when I first made that video, but it's a pretty good card. It's won me a few games. Then we got our Albaz, which is just like Tragedy. We want to dump it with Fusion, Branded Fusion. Then I was running this in my Despia engine that's for this current format, but the Edge Imp chain with the Fright for Patchwork and the polymerizations, it's a really good engine. You see it all over the place. Every opening hand has at least one of these pieces usually. And it's not like technically the polys and the Edge Imps are garnets, but because when you use the Edge Imp for like a polymerization or something, you just get more patchworks. And it's just a really good advantage engine for this highly fusion-based thing. I know I said Ash Blossom doesn't exist, but we're going to run it for right now. I mean, it's Ash. It does what it's supposed to do. It can be really good. It can win you games. Of course, we got Branded Fusion and Fusion Destiny. We're running two Branded and Reds because it's so searchable. You know, you can get it in your opening hand or you can search it. Either way is good. Branded opening grabs you your Aluber or your Ad Libitum if you absolutely need it, but usually you're grabbing a Aluber with this thing. One called by. I'd run more if I could. We're main decking Super Poly here. This is subject to change, but yeah. Paradise Branded is down to one copy, which I completely understand. It's very searchable, and you really only need one copy. Like, your opponent really isn't going to be getting rid of this anytime soon. But when you do have it, it's a really good advantage engine. Like, if I can get this out on the first turn before I do any fusion summoning, I've got so many cards in my hands to just deal with anything the opponent has to do with, because you can grab the bird and then negate things. Speaking of negate things, we've got our Imperms. Then, of course, we got our two Guardian Chimeras. This guy is in here for the Super Polys. Once again, we got our Ice Jades. This is also a really good Dragos Depalia, Really good super poly target. I really like it for like if your opponent just like ends on a board that's like Verte and like Dragoon or even DPE, you can super poly and just make this, and it just takes care of both of their monsters. Albion the Branded Dragon for dumping. Brigand, we usually occasionally summon this. Quertus, still a really good card. Very good for very interesting situations. Always good to turn extra Despia into it if you can't like make a Chimera or something. Of course, DPE, completely format warping, but you know that. We got our 2 Lubellions, a Masquerade, and a Sprint once again for dumping. Because we are currently playing in not technically released territory for this, side deck doesn't really matter, but I just copied and pasted the side deck from the deck profile with the Scythe, with the 2 Sanctums, the Token Collectors, the Cosmic Cyclone. A lot of good stuff to take care of problems. And I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on the deck profile because I want to fit everything in here into one video instead of splitting it to 2 like I did last time. So we're going to watch some replays. Okay, with this first one, we're just looking at what a cracked opening looks like. We start with the Aluber. We've got both Branded Fusion and Branded in Red already in our hands, including a Branded opening. This is just like full power. This is like a best case scenario hand, basically. So we grab the Branded, the Paradise Branded, excuse me, because like I said, we've already got everything else we want. So we drop the Paradise Branded. We drop the Branded Fusion to dump our Tragedy and our Fallen of Albaz. Can I get rid of this? Oh. Grab the Lubellion. That procs not only Tragedy, but also Paradise. So we can use Lubellion as third chain. Get our Mirror Jade out. Grab our Mercurier, our bird, and ad libitum. We set our card. Set another card just for the fun of it. This is always set our Branded in Red and our opening. Then we just set it over to our opponent's turn. And granted, we're not playing against like a super meta deck, but I've played enough Duel Links to know that I do not like super heavy samurais, and so we're going to do everything we can to stop them from playing, including activating our Mirror Jade to send the Branded Dragon so we can just banish the sucker. And yes, he'll still get some plays going, but he gets to grab the scales to go into his link. His link is going to grab that boy. And like I said, I played enough Duel Links to know I do not like this deck. So we're going Branded in Red. We're going to grab the Tragedy. We're going to bring the Chimera out. That's going to not only trigger the Tragedy, it's going to trigger the Ad Libitum, the Paradise Branded, and we get to draw 2 cards and destroy a card with Chimera. So many things happening with just the flipping of Branded in Red. And so you're going to see, we're going to go from, yep, 3 chain, 4 chain. So we draw our Ash and our Imperm. And also get rid of his Benkai. We get to add another Aluber to the hand. We get to add a kit to our hand. And we get another Aluber to the field, who gets to activate his effect to grab another Branded Fusion for next turn. And because we don't have our little boy Albaz in the graveyard anymore, he can just get sent back for Branded Fusion because he recycles. And then our opponent gives up. So much advantage you can get by just having a little bit. I mean, yes, we did use up most of our resources there, so if he had another way to follow up, it'd be a little harder for us. But we still have Tri-Brigade Mercourier. If he tried to draw it all, we could Ash Blossom. We're in a really good spot. Here we've got another game that this hand isn't as good as our other one, but I'm actually going to just let this one kind of play out and pause where I need to instead of going step by step. Going to Branded Fusion. That was just going through our basic combo of getting to Mirror Jade. One thing is with Lubellion, I dumped the Edge Imp Chain, which is going to get me the Fright for Patchwork. I probably should have Alubered first to bait out an Ash, but, you know, I think this was one of the earlier games that I played, so I wasn't thinking 100%. We're going to get the Aluber to grab the Branded in red. Oh, also because I'm only running 2 Edge Up Chains, Fright for Patchwork is just kind of there as discard fodder. But besides the point, we're facing a Blue Eyes deck. Once again, as a kind of Duel Links player, I messed up here and actually didn't click on Mirror Jade's ability to wipe the field, and that was a mistake by me. But we go into Branded Red after we banish the Blue Eyes. For the good old boy. Look at all those chains. We grabbed our Fusion Destiny. And lucky for us, because he has a skill drain. And we even get to bring back our Mirror Jade with ad libitum. So, and because of the wording on this, like I talked about in my other deck profile, we get our banish back. So we banish. And we grabbed Branded Paradise. Paradise Branded, whatever you want to call it. For, the future. Honestly, this is a very weak turn. I'm not going to deny that. But, hey, we take the wins how we can get them. We're doing lots of things. We go through another combo to get to regular poly, so we can get the Guardian Chimera for a second time this game. Just look at all this card advantage we've gotten. So much, and the opponent just surrenders before we can attack for game. But so much card advantage. So we're going to move on to the third and final one, which is more of a scrap than these blowouts we've been having. So this is kind of a more iffy hand. We do have the branded opening, which can get us a stuff, including, it can dump Edge Imp Chain, but we already have a patchwork in our hand. It's kind of iffy right now. But we grab another edge imp chain with the poly. Use the branded opening, grab the looper so we can grab our branded fusion. We're in a pretty good spot. A regular combo, you know, as we've done before, gets us to Mirror Jade. He's our big boy. Then we also get DPE. And we don't have a branded in red, but, you know, we've got an Imperm, we've got a DPE, and we've got a Mirror Jade. We're in a pretty good situation. So, a lot of things just happened there, but nothing that affects us yet. Our opponent is playing Unchained, which I do not know a lot of how they actually work, besides the fact that they destroy things a lot. And I guess the Fly Squad works quite well with them because they destroy themselves a lot. I do not want to deal with the dog, so we're going to banish it. A lot of processes there just to get this big boy impermed. He's going to run over our Aluber and set a card. I'm a little afraid, mostly because our hand is a little sparse right now, but we do get to set the branded in red at the end of the turn, and we get our boy back for Quertus, along with our Phoenix Enforcer. This guy is still on cooldown, so no banish. And yeah, we're gonna grab something with ad libitum. I think it's just another Aluber, which we can activate the effect of. Grab a Paradise Branded. So a lot of things happened there, and I did misplay. Because of needle sealing happening, I kind of panicked and didn't think through it. So he activated needle sealing. I DPE'd in panic to destroy his Unbombable Unchained Soul. Which I didn't need to do because I had branded opening in my graveyard. So, if he did do that, basically I just got him to get rid of my DPE for free, which was a mistake. He gets his Lord of the Heavenly Sky Prison, whatever the bollocks, and the little prison that he's watching over. And then he destroys my other branded in red. A little sad about that. But we get our DPE back. And I got scared of the kaiju. So a lot of things happened there. The kaiju scared me. So I activated Quertus. Then activated DPE and my banish to get all the value out of my cards that I could. And I think I probably should have banished the Unchained Soul instead of the Heavenly Prison. But, like I said, I panicked. I need to stop panicking, because as I'm replaying this, panic is what is causing me to make misplays. See, we're learning. But I saw the kaiju that he grabbed, and that scared me. I'm surprised he did not use it, but he was probably wanting to use it for DPE specifically. So because we banished, we did get a Branded Fusion put back. We get our DPE back. We're just gonna try and go for game here, basically. We're going to activate Quertus to make this 0 attack. This was a little misplay. For some reason, I thought I had another level 8 in my deck to go into Brigand. I did not. Quertus did serve his purpose already, though, so it's not too big of a deal. And we've also got a few poly in hand that we can go into Masquerade and grab an Eluber for. Now, if he flips over this card, he takes more burn damage, and it allows us to just do more damage, get it closer to game. So we had Brigand hit over the Oviraptor. He summons the Aruha. It's going to stop us from getting game because he's going to bring the Rakea out. DPE is going to hit over the Rakea. And then I don't believe I have a banish. We'll see here. No, I DPE'd the Sarama. And then used Mercurier to negate the Sarama. Now we have 100 life points left for our opponent, with Masquerade still on the board, but he has a kaiju in hand. But since it is now his turn, we now have the Mirror Jade that can once again banish. So we're in a pretty good spot. And we've got Brigand here for targeting protection. So yeah. We get the DPE back. He puts the kaiju over that. We get the Mirror J to just banish the Sarama. And he's going to concede. So that's our kind of grind game there. As long as we can keep a Mirror Jade around, especially a fucking DPE. DPE is all about grind game, baby. But yeah. That is our updated branded deck. It is no longer branded Turbo because we're not running fucking Keeper of Dragon Magic to try and grab it, which was silly. But in my defense, it's in the starter deck. But yeah, I really like this new version. I'm going to keep tinkering with it. Keep playing, keep learning, keep trying to get better. And I hope you try and get better too. Hope you have a wonderful day. Like, comment, subscribe. Look both ways before you cross the street. And goodbye.